Very well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will start by saying that we are very glad of the conclusions we reached this morning with regards to migration. I think that this is the first time in quite a number of months when on such a controversial subject, the European Union, all member states have managed to achieve important progress and unity at the same time. And I think those are 2 points that cannot be underestimated. I believe that we also sent a message that one can tackle migration from a level-headed point of view, and that the management of migration, it's not about black and white. It's not about either doing nothing or resorting to extreme measures. There can be sensible ways in which we can move ahead. We have also welcomed and we're ready to support Italy in the bilateral agreement it reached with Libya. We know that is in all agreements it can be criticized. We know that Libya is in a particular situation, that the Libyan government faces challenges, but that is not an excuse not to engage. Actually, it is a reason to do more with the Libyan government, which there was unequivocal praise for, because it showed courage in making the necessary decisions that would allow everyone to manage the situation in a better way. May I point out that the agreement between Italy and Libya now also provides for the assistance to the Libyan government in the management of camps where migrants or potential refugees are held, which we all know they are in a very, very dire situation, not properly managed, and I believe that is a very important aspect of the agreement that I must point out. During lunch we had a very open discussion with regards to the developments in our transatlantic partnership, developments in the United States. Obviously there was concern amongst the EU 28 on some decisions that are being taken by the new US administration, and also some attitudes that are being adopted by the said administration. Nevertheless, there was no sense of anti-Americanism. There was a sense that we need to engage with the United States just the same, but we need to show where we need to do that we cannot stay silent where there are principles involved. And as in any good relationship, we will have and we will speak very clearly where we think that those principles are being trampled on. Also, and finally, there was a large degree of convergence in saying that the developments in the United States and the way in which this great power will choose its role in the world directly affects the role of Europe in the world. And that is something we will discuss later on this afternoon when we discuss what we will be doing in Rome, the declaration that will come out of the Rome event, which will have to deal about the future global role of the European Union. And we believe that there is a great degree of convergence amongst the 28 that the European Union has a role to play at a global level and now needs to lead also at a global level.
Thank you, Joseph. Good afternoon. Before anything else, let me thank again and congratulate Prime Minister Joseph Muscat for once again organizing and hosting an important and a productive summit in the beautiful city of Valletta. It is a pleasure to be back here today after the equally successful Valletta summit in 2015 with our African partners. Now turning to the results of today's meeting. We have agreed on immediate operational measures that should help reduce the number of irregular migrants and save lives at the same time. We will train, equip and support the Libyan Coast Guard to stop people smugglers and increase search and rescue operations. We will deliver economic assistance to local communities in Libya to improve their situation and help them shelter stranded migrants. And we will work with the IOM to step up voluntary returns from Libya to countries of origin. There will be additional European funds to implement those priority actions. And we will, of course, act in full respect of human rights, international law and European values, and in close cooperation with organizations such as UNHCR and IOM. We have also decided to support member states' bilateral activities directly engaged with Libya. Therefore, we welcomed the Memorandum of Understanding signed yesterday by the Italian and Libyan Prime Ministers as another important and encouraging sign that things are about to change for the better. The European Union and our actions will support Italy and Libya. It is our shared responsibility. After this press conference, we will meet to discuss, as Prime Minister Muscat just mentioned, the future of the EU with 27 states and our Rome meeting marking the 60th anniversary of the Treaty of Rome. But in fact, we started the discussion on the future of Europe already during our working lunch. The developments on the international scene remind us of how important a strong EU is. Transatlantic cooperation remains an absolute priority because it has until now been a key pillar of the free world. At the same, we know that today we have no other option than to regain confidence in our own strength. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm happy to be back in Malta. This is in fact my 7th visit to this marvelous country, and it will not be the last one for this year. And I'm really impressed by the way the Maltese authorities are organizing these meetings. The police is polite, friendly, efficient. The civil servants are like ours, functioning in a way I can't even describe. And given the fact that this country, and I'm a specialist of smaller entities, has only small human resources, I have to say, once again, smaller countries are better when it comes to presidencies in the European Union than the big fish in our swimming pool. I don't have many things to add. I would simply like to remind you that the Commission has adopted a recommendation 10 days ago on the Central Mediterranean route. We had to do that, we wanted to do that, because 180,000 refugees were crossing the Mediterranean. After that, we managed to bring down the number of refugees coming from Turkey to the Greek islands, minus 98%. This was something which had to be done. We were preparing this communication in close cooperation with President Tusk, with Joseph Muscat, with the Libyan government. I had the visit of the Libyan Prime Minister yesterday. And so as everything the Commission was proposing was consensually adopted by the European Council, I'm a happy man.
James Freeney from Euronews. Who's the biggest threat to the future of the EU, Donald Trump or Vladimir Putin?
Me.
No, I think the biggest threat is really and truly we don't acknowledge that right now we're living in different times, in historic times, and we need to get our act together. And simply unity for unity's sake is not enough. We can unite on irrelevant subjects. We can unite on the state of the weather in the Caribbean. That doesn't really make a difference to people's lives. We need a significant debate on the future of the European Union. And to say the truth, today, I think we gave a good signal also the fact that with such a controversial subject such as migration, not only there was no controversy because we worked and prepared well, but we actually finished our meeting on time, showing that there is resolve. So it's not about punctuality, it's about resolve, that things need to be done. And we found agreement for the first time in quite a number of months on such a thorny subject.
You seem more united on Trump than you are on Russia, so who would you see as the bigger threat?
Now you go for that.
I think it's maybe a little bit too theoretical question, because in fact the objective thing is that the only real threat is if we wouldn't be united enough towards challenges. Because for us, the new situation, the new geopolitical situation is still maybe not a threat, but a challenge. But it can change into a real threat if we are not united enough, if we are not courageous enough, if we are not consistent enough. Today I feel that at least when it comes to us, I mean 28 member states, that we are united enough to respond properly for these challenges.
Thank you. We turn to the second question, and the lady in red to the right.
Thank you. Norma Saliba from Television Malta. I have a question for President Juncker. The Central Mediterranean migratory route has been an ongoing issue for quite some time, but today consensus to address this issue was reached quite swiftly. What credit do you give to the Maltese presidency, and how optimistic are you that the member states will now be implementing the outcome?
We were starting the preparation of this issue when the Maltese Prime Minister was in Brussels on the 13th of November last year. Then the Commission paid a visit to this country in January. We were discussing this with the Maltese Prime Minister, with the Deputy Prime Minister, with Donald Tusk, with Federica Mogherini in the last weeks. We adopted our recommendations, so this was a well-prepared meeting, and as everyone did agree, I have no doubts that everyone will do its part in order to implement the decisions of today.
Thank you. And we'll take a third question. Yes, Valentina, in the third row.
Yes, Magna Pop with the Wall Street Journal. I believe the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, had a special intervention perhaps at the lunch over her meeting with President Donald Trump. Do you foresee a special role in the transatlantic dialogue for the UK?
I think that maybe...
No, you do it.
We have no illusions. It's in the future we have count on the 27 because of an obvious reason. It's because of Brexit. But our intention is, and it was absolutely clear for all of us, that what we need is a strong transatlantic friendship and relations as possible. And the UK can, inside Europe or outside Europe, I mean EU, not Europe, can be very helpful, and I have no doubts, also after today's discussions and what Theresa May said, I have no doubts that today we can feel some kind of spirit of solidarity among 28 member states, and this good and strong will to protect our unique relationship with the United States, the transatlantic guarantee for freedom and international order, and that we are really determined. I mean, Theresa May, other prime ministers, the whole EU. I have no doubts that for all of us this is still the highest political priority, to protect our relations with the United States against its enemies.